Hey folks, so we have those issues sometimes, that even the best laid plans go wrong. And, well, that's what occurred today. My apologies for not making it to my last live broadcast, but I had some slight family emergency issues go on that I had to take care of, and I wasn't able to be here. So I apologize for that, but I am here for this one. Barely on time, I guess. Not quite on time, but still raring to go. I've got to get my flip inserts put together, so I can chat for just a minute or two and hope other people show up. Got Farm Dog, Wild Bill, Eric Beyer, Jeremy Johnson. I hope everybody figured out pretty quickly that I wasn't going to show up earlier and didn't waste too much time waiting on me. I hate that idea, but there really wasn't anything I could do about it at the time. Unfortunately, I am not a phone-savvy person. I do have YouTube on my phone, but it doesn't work like YouTube does on a computer. And at best, if I could have found the stream to start it using my phone, it would have been in a location that I wouldn't have been able to do much in the way of broadcasting. I certainly didn't have any coins with me. So the best I could do was to let it go. So I apologize for that, and I would appreciate your tuning in tomorrow. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow at noon is when I will go ahead and take care of that 1950D roll. Right now we have a 1954S roll from the Federal Reserve Bank of Portland, which is a branch bank of the San Francisco Fed Reserve. And as soon as I can get these flip inserts taken care of, we'll get moving along and we'll get started on it. I'll get this out here so everybody can hear me. I wish everything worked the way it should, or the way that you plan for it to work, but a lot of times when you schedule things in advance, there are points in time that you just can't do what you thought you were going to be able to do. So here we are, one day before the Super Bowl. I'm still taking anyone's money who wants to put a little wager on the 49ers to win that game. Straight win, lose, no favors, no points. I'm on Kansas City all the way. I know they're only favored by like 1 point, but for some reason I've got this sneaking suspicion that Kansas City is going to blow San Francisco out of the water. What's the bet? Cash. As much cash as you want to lay out on the line. Hi, JLB. Robert Adams. Hi, Carabelle. No, there's no spots open for this roll. Once I actually am in the broadcast to do a roll, very, very seldom are there ever spots available for the roll. I guess it doesn't hurt to ask, but I'm just telling you now that they're almost always sold on Tuesday night at the auction time, and then the actual reveal is performed after that night. However, I have decided to go ahead and start a new broadcast. It's going to be a new broadcast that will be starting. I hope I'm going to be able to do it this coming Monday. Yeah, I'll just have to watch the updates and see that it actually is scheduled and is ready to go, but I'm going to call it the Coppercoins Mail Call. I will be broadcasting, hosting the show with visual aid to answer some of the questions that I get in email about coins. And for right now, it's kind of just an informal thing that I don't really have a whole lot of structure to, but I'm working toward getting something together. All right, so here's our 1954 roll. It's a 1954 San Francisco roll, I do believe. Yeah, 1954S. I can see a coin on one end of it, and on the other end, all we have is a piece of cardboard. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting this open with my trusty tool. I have a tool that helps me pry the shotgun shell ends off of bankrolls, make them a little bit easier to get opened. Because prior to having this tool, I was picking, and it was just really hard. It's a tough job getting the rolls open. But since having this tool, the rolls seem to come open very easily. This wrapper tore just a little bit as I was getting it open. Alright, the wrapper comes up over the coins just like usual. Alright, there we go. It looks like we've got what appears to be 50 nice shiny coins here. That piece of cardboard out of the way. And I have in my possession 50 names plus one empty one with 3 stars on it. And when I pull it out, the persons whose name I pulled directly before pulling this one will win the wrapper. There it is right there. Now I've got my trusty bag here right next to me. So, with all of my name cards, 50 coins, an audience watching, 27 people. I've got 27 people watching. We've only got 9 likes out there. That's a disproportionate number, isn't it? It doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button if you like what you see here, or if you like our show, or if you just happen to like pennies, or you like me, or anything like that. You can go ahead and hit that like button. That helps me out a lot. Here's coin number 1. It's going to go to Levels of Madness. Now you get my keyboard out of the way here. I need to get my camera working. I need to get the title changed. Today has not been the best day, but it's going to get better here in the next hour. I can tell you that for sure. 1954 S, Portland. Nope. Let's try it off of caps lock. Portland Fed wrapped roll. That's exactly what we've got going on here. All right. That camera's plugged in. Let me make it work. Gosh, everything has to be hard. That's not what I'm looking for. Am I on the right? Yeah, I am on the right scene collection. Let's see. Here it is. There we go. And the camera works. Gonna have to focus it when we get coin number 1 under there. Here is coin number 1. Get it into focus. Oh, we have all kinds of little shards of paper all over the coin. And that's just because it's the end roll coin. A little bit of that pink paper. And this one's for Levels of Madness. Hello, AZ Coins. I have had better days, but I think it's getting better as we go along here. I, at present, don't see anything on this coin, but that's partly because it's so covered up with little shards of paper. I'm going to dust it off here real quick so we can see the date and mint mark area a little better. And even dusting it off, I don't really see anything much better. So it doesn't look like we have anything on this particular coin. See, we have a die crack across the forehead. What do we have around the date that's going to give us a good idea of what coin we're looking at, what die we're looking at? Looks like there's a nice little die scratch running just left of the base of the 1 into the vest. I think that's probably what I'll try to use for this and see if that comes out holding true for other coins in the roll. So that's Levels of Madness. It's coin number 1. Let me go ahead and take a look at the other side. Not really expecting a whole lot to come off of 1954S reverses. For some reason, they're just not very well known for double die reverses. You can share your auction list for tomorrow, Miss Penny Parent. who should be logged in as Jessica Johnson. You very well may share your list. Make sure everybody here takes a look at what Jessica has up for auction tomorrow. It's going to be quite early. It'll be 3 o'clock Central Time, so that's plenty early enough to get in before the Super Bowl. Kevin Speaks. Awesome. $10 super chat. Thank you very much. And that great info just keeps flowing, I'm sure. Try to get myself try to get myself into a position where I can actually do my job here. All right, Don Harmon. Don Harmon gets the second coin in the roll. Here is the second coin in the roll. I'm hoping we run into some really nice RPMs here. That is our hope. There is one really nice double die obverse for 1954S that shows in the entire motto across the top of the design. There's Jessica Johnson. Well, hello, Jessica Johnson. Thank you for joining us. You're looking right rather chipper today. Do you have a list of auction items that you'd like to share with us? So nothing on that coin. Try to get us into some slightly shinier, better coins. They are in nice condition. This coin that I'm looking at here right now, this coin number 3 in the roll, is appears to be a nice gem coin. Of course, everything looks like a nice gem coin when you're not wearing your glasses. So I'll have to put my eyeballs on. I don't see my eyeballs. I must have left them downstairs. But my eyeballs tell me about the same thing, that this view under the scope. Oh, look at that. There's some nice die cracks going on there. This view under the scope is telling me about the same thing, is that this coin is relatively mark-free. It's a nice gem coin. There's the auction list for 2220. Ooh, we get to play that game again in 2 years. 2222. I didn't even think about that. Today's Groundhog Day. I don't know the result. Or actually, tomorrow will be Groundhog Day. That's right. Tomorrow will be Groundhog Day. I don't yet know the result. I guess we won't know the result until tomorrow. As far as I'm concerned, we're still in winter, and we're going to be in winter for a while. But they may prove us wrong tomorrow. Tomorrow is my sister's birthday. So, Melissa, happy birthday in advance. Mr. Fletcher gets the 4th coin in the roll. Here's for Mr. Fletcher. Still not seeing any RPMs in this roll. A couple of minor spots on that one. Minor spot versus a major spot. Minor spot's going to change the color of the surface of the coin. A major spot is something that has indelibly made its mark on the coin and cannot be removed without completely damaging the coin. Now, the minor spots may not be removable, but they're not anything that's going to harm the coin. They don't spread, they don't get bigger, they don't get darker, they don't really change. See, there's minor spotting right there. Some very minor spotting, just changes the color slightly of the coin. Major spot would be like carbon or something that has dug itself into the coin and cannot come off the coin without damaging it. Damaging it meaning that if you do get whatever spot it is off the coin, you're going to be digging part of the surface of the coin out. Cherie Ward, I need you to send me an email. Let me know again what your PayPal information is, because I don't seem to have it. And I did get your order for a few rolls the other day and could not bill you because I didn't know where to bill you. So if you send us a quick email, please, at coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. That's coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. Let us know what your PayPal email address is. and I will get that invoice out to you. Carbon spots generally come from some sort of contaminant that is on the coin that causes a chemical reaction with the carbon in the air, separates out, sits on the surface of the coin, and then ends up digging itself in to the surface of the coin. It's generally green or black. It's green until it turns black. Green means that it's active. Black means it's no longer active. Active carbon spreads like cancer. And inactive carbon does not spread, but it is not removable. You cannot get that stuff off of the coin ever. Usually, when you start finding black spots in a roll, you're going to continue to find black spots in the roll. Usually one coin is going to give you a good signal of whether or not you have indelible spots, or spots that will not come off or will not, or that continue to change. You'll know that when you open and look at the roll. We do have some very minor spots, like right there on the coat, on the neck. We do have some very minor spots on this coin. On every one of these coins in this roll so far, I've seen a couple of minor spots here and there, but it's nothing that's really going to much affect the coin. You have to remember that when you're looking at these coins under my microscope, I am showing them to you at many, many, many times their actual size. And so what you're seeing is a very, very, very close-up view. That is much, much closer than even what you see when you're grading coins. So a lot of the things that look like fantastic Snake River Canyon on these coins is actually just a really small mark. And then a lot of the things that look like really small marks on the coin when you're looking at it under my scope, it turn out to be barely anything at all, and nothing that will affect the grade. Some of the real minor spots that you see are going to be so tiny, they're not really even going to show up. It's like those, okay, there's two little tiny dark spots to the upper right of the 4. You see them out there in the field above the 4? Those aren't even going to be noticeable. You're not even going to see them when it comes time to grade the coin. Now, this will be noticeable. It won't look nearly as huge as it does now, but it will be noticeable. So it will affect the grade of the coin. But it will affect the grade of the coin from, say, 65, 66, 67 level down to 63, 64, 65 level. That is an active spot right there. That little thing right in the center of the screen laying right on top of the lapel, that is actually actively changing the coin as we sit. So I can take it with a bit of a Q-tip and just give it a very quick knock. It comes right off the coin. Because that active stuff, it will sit on the coin, it will eventually eat into the surface of the coin, and it will invite all kinds of other contaminants to come by and turn that coin black in that little spot. And if you catch it before it has a chance to do that, a lot of times you can just wipe it straight off the coin. Be careful when you're wiping a coin that you don't scratch it. You have to, it's kind of like a rolling twist pull-up action. You're trying to lift something off the coin. You're not trying to scrub it into the coin. So it's not like you're scrubbing a countertop. You don't want to do that. It's more like you're trying to blot ink up off of a piece of paper or something. It's a strange motion if you're not used to it. But it would be very important to know that. I appreciate Cherie Warden. Oh, you already did? Jessica, she already did send the info to... Let me go check real quick. It's easier just to go look at it. Oh, let's see what we've got here. Coppercoins payments at gmail.com. I gotta check my mail. And I don't have it in here. What is going on? I'm checking my spam folder, no spam in there. I've only got 3 in the inbox. Make sure I'm checking the proper account again. No, I'm not. I have too many Google accounts. If these people didn't screw up the way they handle their stuff, I wouldn't have to create more accounts. So it's Google's fault. I don't know that I can get into the account that has the email. I can't. Jessica, you're going to have to check for me and see that it's in there and let me know what it is, because I can't even open that account. Okay, you see it. Okay, we're good. All right, so Paul Hampton's going to get the next coin in the roll. I wish they'd leave good enough alone and quit messing with stuff, changing stuff around so that people can't understand how to use their settings. I see that is a carbon spot. That's a black spot. That little raised dot in the middle of it is what caused it. I'll get that knocked off of there real quick so it doesn't continue to spread. There's another active spot right there. That one will come off with just a real quick twist of a Q-tip. There it goes. Hey, bye-bye. You can't get rid of the spot that it leaves behind, but you can stop it from growing. And that's what it was going to do. It was going to continue to grow. Oh, you don't have to do anything now, Cherie. You'll receive an invoice in your email from PayPal. All you have to do is go in and pay that PayPal invoice, and I will ship your rolls to you. These are rolls that came from those Federal Reserve bags the other day. I noticed that you had placed an order, I think, for 5 rolls, and I couldn't do anything about getting them to you. All right, so next, we are just getting started. We're on coin number 9, PJ. We haven't run into your name yet, I don't think. This one's for DN. We haven't run into anything of any high-level importance yet. Went into a few pretty nice coins. We've got a decent roll going here, pretty decent vibes going. We haven't found any die varieties, though. Got the die cracks on the shoulder, here and there. Oh, Cherie Ward, nothing to be worried about. There are so many bigger things to worry about in life. If something happens and our communication breaks down, just send me an email. No big deal. Get a hold of me somehow, one way or another. I don't get mad at people. I just get even. Crazy pennies at the show today, huh? Awesome. Where was the show? All right, Marshall gets the next coin. It's coin number 10. Sometimes I have to stop to read because my head doesn't allow me to do more than one thing at a time. Looks like we keep coming out with coins from what appears to be the same die over and over again. These have started to turn just a little bit, but they'll stop now that they're out of that roll paper. That paper was really dark. It had gotten to a point where it was barely legible. Knoxville. That was a show I was supposed to try to go to. There was no way I could make it all the way over there today, or this weekend anyway. Jeremy gets the next coin in the roll. Tomorrow is going to be an out day. I am not going to be able to do much of anything with coins tomorrow. I will be on at noon to take care of that 1950 D roll for everyone. But then I am not going to be able to be present the remainder of the day. Even Chucky has to have a day off once in a while, you know what I'm saying? And I haven't had a day off in a long time. Been a long time. I've either been online, doing an auction, preparing an auction, shipping an auction, on my way to a show or at a show, or doing a buy, pretty much every single day this year so far. I have not taken a day off except the first. Well, I didn't even take the 1st of January off, did I? I was right here, the 1st of January. There we go, PJ Curtis. Now, PJ, you've either got 1 coin or 2 coins in this roll, and you got 1 coin or 2 coins in the 50D roll that I've not yet done. I can't remember which one was which, but I do know that in one you have 2 coins, and the other you have 1 coin. Nothing going on right there. Let's take a look at the other side. And the other side of this coin didn't prove to have anything on it, but it is a nice coin. A lot of these coins are just really nice uncirculated coins. I see you, Shannon. I'm going to be sending that package tomorrow, actually Monday. I've got a lot of stuff on my mind. I got a lot of stuff sitting here, and I know what I got going on, and it's just a matter of getting it all together and getting it mailed. Midnight Silver Run. A few little minor spots here and there. Wild Bill, I think you did. I think you had 2 in this roll. All right, Benjamin, you have fun, brother. I'll see you next time around. Taking a look around here to see if we have anything to talk about on the reverse of this coin. I'm not really seeing anything. I do see a rather late die state. That's evidenced by all this, looks like pointillism, just a bunch of stippling in the field throughout the coin. That is molecules of steel from the surface of the die moving around on the die, so that when the die strikes the coins, the design is progressively less and less distinct. And in this one, it is rather indistinct as it is now. You can see that none of these letters here in this area have much of a defined outer edge. You'll still see some defined outer edges in the very center of the coin, but as you head outward, they become less and less distinct. And that's a later die state coin. Yeah, my apologies, Shannon. I will get that package out to you. I am not forgetting it. Have not forgot it at all. In fact, I've got the order form sitting right here, right next to me. I've already got your postage printed out. It's just a matter of getting the rolls together to get them into the mail. All right, Shannon, here you go, brother. Shannon McCord. It looks like we're just not finding any RPMs in this particular roll, which I've never liked that idea, but it does happen. That's why RPMs and double dies have value, because you don't find them in every roll. Oh, nothing there right now. Let me go over and check my sheet for Wild Bill. There we go. Just looking at the rest of the reverse here on this one. It's a slightly weak strike. You can tell that because the letters up in this area right here, which are directly opposite the shoulder on the other side, are very indistinct. And you can see that the top edge of the 0, or top edge of the O, is nearly missing. And that's because this is high relief on the other side of the strike. Didn't get enough pressure to completely fill in the letters on this side of the strike. So we turn up with, turns out to be rather incomplete looking letters. Wild Bill, you got 2 spots in this roll. You got 2 spots in this roll, and then the 1950D, you also got 2 spots in that one. They are nice coins. I won't take anything from the coins themselves. They do look nice. The roll is nice. It's not bright, flashy red. They're more of a, I'll say more of a pumpkinish orange red. Pretty much just the color that you see underneath the scope here. The color on this scope is actually pretty good. It actually shows color very well. It shows detail rather well, but it just doesn't do as good as the scope that I'm used to using. So I guess if I had been used to using something that was of far lower quality than this, such as a Anko loop or something like that, this would be a huge step up for me. But because I use pretty decent optics on my microscope when I'm looking through coins, when I put a coin like this under this digital scope, it just doesn't show with quite the resolution that I would hope for. And it makes it difficult to see some of the fine details. Lack of control of the lighting also plays a role in not being able to figure out exactly what I'm looking at sometimes. With regard to the question for Stonecutter, it says, was a planchet thinner in spots, or did the dies move? Neither one. If we're talking about how it's weak in some spots, it's that if you take something of even thickness and you try to make it thicker in some areas and not so thick in other areas, it takes a lot of pressure to do that and get everything to move around the right directions. And so this didn't quite work out on some of the coins, like this right here, this area. If I flip that coin directly over, if I was able to drill a hole directly through this coin, it would come out just above his ear. And that's a very high relief area. So given that that's a high relief area on the obverse, you have to fill in a lot of extra area there, extra negative space, with the cavity in the die that makes up the ear, that on this side you don't generally get a complete and heavy thick strike just because of that. And if you follow down, there's the ear, and then you go this way to the back of the coat, and the back of the coat and the shoulder is right in this area. And so that's why you have weakness only in certain spots. What year has the best looking or most drastic SRPM? I've got a few of them that I'm thinking of, and they're different, I guess, styles. But the probably one of the most drastic ones I know of is from 1925. 1925S has 2 really nice S-Mint RPMs. 1910 has a couple of really nice S-Mint RPMs. 1909 has a really nice one. That's not the horizontal S, it's the other one, RPM number 1. As for dramatic, 1954S does have one that's pretty dramatic. It's rather common and shows up rather frequently. It's a really nice North RPM. It's RPM number 4. 1955 has one of the more valuable and one of the more scarce recent S-Mint RPMs, but it's not very obvious. It has 2 upper curves up above the S-Mint mark. It's actually a tripled S-Mint mark. It's 1955 S RPM number 1. It is a favorite of many collectors because they are very difficult to find, but it's not really obvious. Hey, Jeeping John, what are you missing? Well, you're not missing PJ Curtis getting his second coin. So we're up to coin number 18 in this roll. This should be a 50 coin roll. And we're looking for RPMs, double dies, or errors, or other issues of concern that we can talk about while we're going through this roll. Some pretty decent pretty decent uncirculated coins here. It's a kind of a later die state roll. A lot of these coins are struck with dies that were pretty close to the end of their expected lifetime. That's evidenced by the lack of detail on the coins, even in full strike. Start to have a lack of detail on later die state. That's also when it's more common to have die cracks, die chips, and other little die breaks. Alright, next is going to be Farm Dog. So far in this roll, we haven't come up with any die varieties. A little concerning, given that we're up to coin number 19 in the roll, and I haven't hit anything yet. It's almost half the roll taken care of. We've got some spots on this one. Just blotchy color. Alright, take a look at the next coin, see if we can find anything there. It's going to be Farm Dogs, coin number 19. I will be getting the rest of all of the roll reveals done that we've been through so far this week and last week. I've got to do the 1950D roll tomorrow. I will be getting the 1950D roll done tomorrow. This has got a little bit of machine doubling on it. You can see it on the top of the S and the top of the 4. Anytime you have doubling that's related between the date and the mint mark on these older coins, cannot be an RPM or a double die, because those two things were done at completely separate times. Die would be hubbed with a design that would have the date in it. Then it would go into a vault to wait for its assignment. San Francisco orders a die, they pull it out, punch the mint mark in it, put it in a box, and send it to San Francisco. All of these dies were made in Philadelphia. So, if you had a doubled 4, as this appears to be doubled, if you had a doubled 4 on this die, that would be alone, and it would be doubled by itself. When the S mint mark came into it, could have been months later. But these are related to one another, which tells you that it was done when the die was striking the coin and not when the die was created. So that's your little lesson for the day. Anytime you have doubling on a mint mark and a date on coins made prior to 1989 or 1990, then you definitely have machine doubling if that doubling is related between the date and the mint mark. Because the only time that could happen is while the coin was being struck and not before the coin was struck. Pulled a blank from a roll today. Wouldn't it be like really cool if we pulled a blank from a roll, say, in this show, and the owner of that blank could send said blank plus a link to this video to the grading service and actually have a blank slabbed with a date? I mean, because it's obvious anything coming out of here is going to be 1954 San Francisco. Well, if we came up with a blank and say that it had a specific mark or a specific stain or something like that on it that could be proven, then you could send that link in to ANAX or somebody else. They could take a look at it. They could look at the blank and be able to tell that the blank was the one in the video. And of course, that came out of an original bank wrapped roll from 1954S. So it's obvious that that blank is a 1954S blank. That would be really cool. How misplaced Youper girl. Oops. I got Kelly's coin without his name. There we go. Coin number 21 belongs to Kelly Michaud. Coin number 22 to Jeremy Johnson. Coin number 22 to Jeremy Johnson. Let's see what we've got here. I can get my coin under the scope and not just my card. There we go. That's some relatively nice, clean-looking coins. Oh, that one's got a yick on it. I got the yick off of it, or most of it anyway. Yes, one can buy real penny blanks. Penny blanks are not that uncommon. In fact, the Mint actually puts them in the kits for teaching about coins. They put blanks and planchets together in cellophane, like the old time proof sets used to come in, or the old Mint sets used to come in. They put a blank with a real penny or something like that, and they'll send them to educators. And they're also not highly difficult to come by in bags or otherwise. But the thing about it is, if you take it out of a bag or whatever, and it's not documented specifically what the date and mint mark of that source was when it came out, there's no way to prove what it was, because there's no date on a blank. So given there's no date and mint mark on a blank, you end up with, well, a blank. But if we had one come out of the roll during a broadcast like this, we could tell ANAX, hey, we pulled a 1954 S blank out of this roll and we want it slabbed with the date and mint mark. Could actually get that done, I think. Not sure they would or not. Mr. Dowdle, what is that? Mr. Dowdle got 2 coins in a row. How about that? I pulled his name again. And this is the second of the 2 coins. Nice, clean, uncirculated coin so far. And let's flip it over and take a look at the other side. Hey, Jody, how you doing? A little spot on the right wheat. And that looks like it. Otherwise, we've got a very clean coin here. Very nice one. Right? Wouldn't it? A Wheatie Blink Planchet? That would be awesome. All right, we are halfway through the roll. I'm going to take a couple of minutes break. Hello, Mantic. How you doing, buddy? Going to take just a couple of minutes out here. Let people have a chance to refresh their browser, go get a drink of coffee, or whatever they need to get. We are on OBW Coin Roll Hunting Roll Reveal number 69. This is a 1954 S original bank wrap roll from the Portland branch of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. We're 24 coins through the roll. We found plenty of nice uncirculated coins in this roll. We have not found any die varieties, no double dies or repunch mint marks, and the wrapper has not yet gone out to anyone. Show Mantic's commercial? I can try. Let's see if I can get... I'll try that. We got a couple of minutes, right? Let's see. Make sure I'm getting the right one here. I'm pretty sure it's this right here. Be sure to check out and subscribe to Mantic Coins on YouTube, where host Shay Hoffmaster takes you through a fun-filled tour through numismatics to include coin auctions, educational videos, live roll hunts, and much more. Come join in the educational fun with Shay. Search Mantic Coins on YouTube and subscribe today. The best in online auctions just got better. Now you can enjoy Coin Night live auctions twice weekly with the addition of CNLA Weekend Edition with your host, Jessica Johnson. All the same excitement and the same great deals with a new host and at a new time. Come join in the fun this weekend. I need to learn to turn my volume back on. Oh boy. So yeah, I was just going to say that this is the commercial break that we're going to get in the middle of every one of the videos. In the middle of every one of these rolls that I do, I'm going to be showing a couple of commercials. You can get in on this and get your own commercial. I don't charge to actually build the commercial as long as you purchase at least 2 viewings. And a viewing means that the commercial will be run. If it's run during a show, then that's a $100 charge per viewing. Unless we talk about pre-arrangements for a longer term contract, then we can do that too. So, moving right along, we're going to go back over to Doug Reese. Doug Reese gets the next one. 710 is oil upside down. How's that? Never really thought about it that way, but it is true. It's like when we first used to start getting digital calculators back in the early mid-70s. We would do an equation that would equal 7734. And you turn the calculator over and see what it says when you type in 7734. That was one of the stupid things us kids did. We weren't very smart back then. Of course, we weren't technologically capable either because, well, the biggest part of technology we had was rabbit ears on the TV that worked. All right, Deanne, guess the next coin. Yeah, that and telling stupid jokes about things like, if your hand's bigger than your face, it means you have cancer. And when they put their hand up to their face like this, you smack their hand. Uh-oh, got a couple of spots. Yeah, I make people good and mad. There we go, 58008. That's another one. We weren't able to spell with that many letters back then. we weren't very smart as kids. I'll tell you, the technology today, it makes them book smart, socially dumb. Because I tell you, man, there's a lot of kids out there under 18 years old who have no clue how to answer a phone. You have to teach them how to answer a phone when you hire them for a job because they have no clue how to speak into a phone and be polite in the proper way, have the proper etiquette on a phone to be able to take a message for someone who is not presently there. Hello, may I speak to your father? He's not available. Okay, would you mind taking a message? That's not a question I should have to ask you. You should just know to say, he's not available, may I take a message? We don't teach our kids that anymore, I guess. Just not a normal thing. But, yeah, the way we grew up, that's why it's the good old days. Because we see the way kids are growing up now. And by and large, parents don't do what they used to do. Make sure that their kids knew something. Now, if you go to a restaurant, have you ever noticed if you go to a restaurant and you got quiet kids at a table, it's usually a kid that's going to be staring at a screen. They've got some sort of gadget in front of them to make sure that they don't yell and scream and make noise. There's a little tiny rim cut right there. Take a look at that. See that little spot that's sticking up? Oh, it's past the B of VDB. It's just below the jacket there. Right out on the rim. That's a little tiny rim cud. What that means is that part of the die was broken there. And it didn't mash the metal down, leaving a little piece standing out. Have some concentric die gouges going on above pluribus here. That likely comes from the reduction lathe and the way the reduction lathe was skipping or not properly oriented when it started cutting the die or when it was finishing. I can't remember. I do believe it starts in the middle and works its way out. I don't think it... No, it does. It starts at the edge and works its way in. So the very center of the design is the last part that's cut. This part out here is the first part that's cut. Yeah, it is unfortunate that these days everybody wants to control the parents, not the kids. We were just out to dinner and sitting in a booth, and the booth behind us was a child of probably 4 or 5 years old, kept standing up on the booth seat and peering out over the back of the seat into our booth. Well, it was kind of disruptive. And that'd be something I would have my butt blistered for when I was a little kid. But I guess I was abused, right? This one's got some black spots on it. Not the best looking coin. Hoping that we have something on here to compensate for that. You know, like a nice little double die or something. But I'm not seeing anything there. Yeah, back in those days, if I stood up in a booth and turned around and was looking into somebody else's, I wouldn't even consider doing that when I was a kid, but if I did, the very first thing that would happen is I'd likely get my legs smacked. Turn around, sit down. There's an active spot that I can quickly take care of. It's just something sitting on top of the coin. It's like an oil slick. They generally come off pretty easily if you hit them just right. That one didn't. Not quite as easily as I would hope. They threatened to spank your grandson. He said he'd call the police. He said, great, call an ambulance too. I like that. That's a good one. I see a lot of kids who need their butt blistered these days. And of course, I would be the person who would be accused of supporting child abuse. Heck, why don't you just call me an animal abuse supporter as well? I mean, just try to hurt my feelings all you can, but I think it's a necessary part of raising a child. So you need to be prepared to be able to swat your child when they're completely out of line to get their attention. I don't think you should hurt your child. I don't think you should be actually really putting blisters on your child or bruises or anything else. That is abuse. But at a very young age, they need a little swat once in a while to bring them back in line and have them actually look at you and say, I didn't know you would do that. That's right, you didn't. But now you do, so straighten up. It's just one of those things that I think we are losing these days in society, is that we don't have enough people controlling their children. And then the children grow up, and they end up being school shooters, or they end up, ooh, yuck. Got some, looks like somebody sneezed on this one. Absolutely. And you know what? None of us are, suffering from huge bouts of PTSD because of the way our parents treated us. Our parents raised us to have respect. Our parents raised us to be good, clean people who respected other people. And it seems these days there's just not enough of that. Bulldog. Bulldog gets the next coin in the roll. Hopefully this one doesn't. I'm not seeing any RPMs here at all. No RPMs, no double dies. It's a little disheartening because it's not an completely infrequent thing to get RPMs in a 1954 S roll. There are plenty of them. There are some very nice ones as well. Just not in this roll. Raymond Lungy. This one's not an RPM. That was a reflection I was seeing there at first. Thought it could possibly be an RPM, but it's not. Right, yeah. I mean, you've got way too many people involved in the process of raising a child who don't belong in that process because it's not their child. And then you have other people who have to get involved, like telling someone to quieten their child down in a movie theater. Says, hey, can you keep your kid quiet or take him out of here? Evidently, you are extremely rude for doing that when you paid for the ticket to watch the movie. Not to listen to someone else's kid whine and cry and make noise. I can remember a number of times my son used to, when he was between 1 and 3 years old, he would scream at the top of his lungs, and he would just do it to hear himself do it. Honestly so. He wouldn't be whining. He would be happy. He was a happy kid. He wouldn't he wouldn't be crying. None of that. He'd just scream. Ah! 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 Just screaming at the top of his head, right? In a restaurant or in some other crowded place. He would do it just because he enjoyed doing it. And there were so many times that I had to take him out of where we were to go outside and look at the flowers, or go outside and watch the snow fall, or whatever we had to do to get him away from the crowd, because I did not want him to disturb other people's experience with wherever they are and what they're doing. That seems to have been completely lost on most people raising children these days. If you are in a building with other people and your kid is disruptive, whether it be that they're crying or out of control, or if they're just having fun but being disruptive to the crowd at large, you need to get them out of there. Pretty much the end of story. So in this restaurant where we were sitting, over across from us, there was, let's see, we've seen this rule, this particular die before. Over across from us, there was a child in a one of those booster seats. Mom and dad and another kid there. And the girl was obviously very, let's say, probably worn out, probably tired, needed a nap or whatever, been out all day, or I don't know what it was, but she was just crying, screaming, crying. and they didn't have the wherewithal to take her out of the place. So the manager of the place, this was a sushi place, the manager of the place, Japanese guy, came out and he looked around and saw other people sort of being disturbed by what was going on. He actually went over and he kneeled down next to the girl and did this. Shh. And then he looked at the parents like, kid needs to be quiet. She's not quiet. You need to remove her from here. That's basically all there is to it. Hello, Tim Crowell. So what are we thinking about this coronavirus, folks? What's going on with that? We actually had a report today that we have a case of the coronavirus in Boston. They've given, I guess, beds and quarters in different military bases around the country to quarantine people coming back from China, Americans coming back from China. My question is, what are they going to do when it comes time to quarantine people who get the disease here? Or better yet, why do they raise such a stink for this and not for influenza? Hi, Tim Crowell. We have not found anything amazing yet. We're just finding a decent roll of 1954 Lincoln cents. Unfortunate that we haven't found anything of amazement yet, but that's just the way it works out sometimes. Just the way it works out sometimes. As for Eric Beyer, that's coin number 37 in the roll, and so far we still haven't found anything. Adam Chambers. Adam Chambers. Got a nice 1954 Lincoln cent here, and that's just about it. But it is relatively clean. You know, it's a very clean looking coin, doesn't have a lot of hits. Some of the coins in this roll, I don't understand. Some of them have some pretty achy looking spots. This one turned out to be pretty nice. So this coronavirus, kind of like SARS, kind of like the Asian bird flu and other things that we've had in the past, they don't really have any kind of a treatment or a cure for it that I know of. They haven't really spoken much of a treatment or a cure. They're looking for something, a vaccine or a something that'll help the symptoms and make it go away. But I also saw some news that showed so far there have been a couple of thousand people infected, maybe up to 11,000 people infected. And they're saying that there's a decent chance that there could be up to 75,000 infected in the Wuhan area. And that's the area where it was first discovered. Somehow it popped up in a fish market or something like that. And I guess it's the speed, the rapidity of which it is spreading that's causing issues, as many issues as it is. But even with the couple of hundred deaths they've had so far from this, still doesn't come close to the 8,500 deaths we've had so far this year from influenza. And influenza is a virus just like this coronavirus, just like norovirus, just like hantavirus. There's a number of different viruses out there that make people sick and kill them every year. That's a lamination peel there, part of a lamination. That's kind of cool to get. One, as yet, we don't really know who this is spreading to and exactly how. We do know that it's very contagious. You can see the color of that lamination all the way through the date. That's right, 10,000 flu deaths this year. And we're getting ourselves all bunched up and worrying about a new virus that they just don't yet have a handle on. So because they don't yet have a handle on it, it has suddenly become a global emergency. Now, we've seen movies about pandemics that go through and eventually wipe out a third of the population of the earth. We don't know whether or not this could or may or may not be something like that. But I don't think that we're getting any real benefit from the newswire making it out to be such a huge thing. I don't know. Came from a snake? I didn't hear that part. Honestly, I didn't hear that part. Was a snake someone was going to eat, or a snake that bit somebody or something? Because I know in China they do eat snake. We eat snake in the United States. It's just not as common as other things. But you'll find Texans that'll eat rattlesnake. Got a lot of interesting color on some of these coins. The place where it came from is called Wuhan. I believe Wuhan has a population of 11 million people. It's pretty big. Joe McBride gets the next coin. We're up to coin number 42 now. We've still not found any die varieties. We're still looking for our first die variety, or our first real error. We have found one coin that had a bit of a lamination on it. This one has a little bit of a wood grain look to it. This one has a little tiny bit of woody going on. You have OCD and you're a germ freak unless you have fishing going on. Yeah, that's right. You'll touch all the nasty, slimy worms and you'll dig into a fish's mouth in a heartbeat. But you wouldn't shake hands with a person who just washed their hands because you don't trust them. You'll be in an avocado coma tomorrow. Gonna have all that guac while you're watching the Super Bowl? Is that what the deal is? I think I speak that language. Akram Khatib. Not finding anything for you, brother. It's not there on this one. Not putting enough lime in their Corona. I tell you what, folks. I wish I had a taste for beer. I just don't. I'm not a beer drinker. I hate to disappoint. I'll go to a place where there's beer being drinking. I'll sit at a table with people drinking beer. I just don't drink it myself. J.O.B. J.O.B. gets the next coin. Let's see what we get for him. Looking around here, it looks like we still got a nice coin. I mean, it's a nice uncirculated roll of coins. Nothing taking away from the fact that we've got some decent coins here. We just don't have any die varieties. Sometimes this show is amazing, and sometimes this show is not. This is one of those knots. A doubled I Roosevelt dime. Sure, I like taking a look at a doubled die here and there. CD at coppercoins.com. Levels of madness. If you want to get one of these little guys right here, see this here? That's my, not the loop part, but the lanyard part. Take a look at this. It even detaches. Just like that. So you can hand your loop to someone and say, here you go. You can use this for a second. Oh, okay, you're going to give it back? Okay. I'll just snap it back into place. You can go to coinsandcreations.com. That's Amber Pennell's website. ap@coppercoins.com or go to coinsandcreations.com. You're going to see all kinds of designs that she's made for t-shirts, for Coppercoins t-shirts. We're eventually going to get into merchandising other things that have the Coppercoins logo, so you can have all sorts of Coppercoins gear. But right now, we've got lanyards and we've got t-shirts. And Amber would be happy to serve you. All you have to do is go over to coinsandcreations.com and take a look. That's coinsandcreations.com. I'm going to make a commercial for her, too. Common courtesy. Yeah, it's kind of like common sense, right? What's common? Because if nobody teaches their kids, they can't have common sense because it's not common to them. Here you go, Wild Bill. I just made a comment that they're nice coins. I hope I don't take this away. This one's okay. This is a nice uncirculated coin. Well, they got plenty of luster on them. Just a little bit of spottiness here and there. Let's flip it over and take a look at the other side and see what we get on the other side. Wow, look at all those marks going all the way around. That had to be a reduction lathe type thing. That's kind of amazing, actually. Nice. Eingebrühwasser, it's German? For what? Ich kann nur Deutsch sprechen. Gib mir eine deutsche Frage. Antworte ich kann. Steve Patat. Mr. Patat gets the next coin in the roll. No headache because German beer has no preservatives. Well, German beer has no preservatives by law, but I can guarantee you can get a headache from it because I've done that plenty of times. I lived in Germany for 4 years. Drinking their beer, there's not a lot of difference between German beer and American beer, except it tastes a lot better. It'll get you drunk a lot faster. And you are correct, it does not have preservatives in it. But as for the hangovers that you get afterward, all I can say is BC. Dirt is good for kids. But kids don't get into dirt anymore. They're too busy playing Grand Theft Auto on their machine at home. Or is that just too old-fashioned now? Here's Wild Bill's second coin. Wild Bill, we waited toward the end of the roll for you, brother. And I'm not seeing anything come out of this that really benefits you. Other than you got a nice 1954 S uncirculated Lincoln cent here. Little tiny mark on the rim. Couple of little spots here and there. Little minor spots. Not seeing any die variety. Or no errors, but hey, it's a nice coin. It indeed is. We are going to be doing something special here in a few days. I have not yet announced it. This will be the first announcement of it. I have a gentleman who has offered to send a 2020 roll of Lincoln Cents to me to do a show. And in doing that show, I'm going to do what's going to be a customer appreciation show. The customer, hey, look at that. Wow, Bill, you're going to get the wrapper on this one. You're going to get that Portland wrapper. This little guy right here. There we go. Got Wild Bill in there for the wrapper. I knew it had to come out sometime. We only got 2 more coins to go through in this roll. Hello, Mr. O'Rourke. All kinds of fame showing up here. Mr. O'Rourke, Bill O'Rourke, the author of Found in Rolls for Coin World for a number of years now. Guy's been through more rolls than I could ever imagine counting. Looking for all sorts of things. He's found all kinds of beautiful coins, all kinds of weird coins, probably foreign coins from about every country in the world. Had Brian Allen stop by yesterday and say hi. He and I are going to be meeting up pretty soon at a Greenville, South Carolina show. I was like, you're a little too far south for that. I wanted to meet up with you during the fun show. And you know how things get when you're at the fun show. You end up going there to do something. You've got this specific plan of things that you want to get done. And you only get about 1/4 of it done by the time you go back home. You're having so much fun. You can't really even think of everything that's going on and how to handle doing exactly what you had gone there to do. Just started your 21st year of Found in Rolls at Coin World. How about that? That's amazing. SRK Iron Man is going to get the last coin of the roll. This is the roll ender. And as it appears, it's not going to be a whole lot different from the other coins that we've seen in this roll so far. But we haven't seen the reverse of this one yet. This is the side that was stuck up against the cardboard. It didn't really get colorful. We had an end that was up against the cardboard, and this one, it didn't really turn colorful. It's more just a brownish. But it is what happened. Hello, Paula. No, we haven't found anything great today. We haven't found any die varieties. We found some coins that were in really nice shape. We found other coins that were not in really nice shape, and it's pretty much just an average 1954S roll. I did not get a chance to do the 1954D roll, or 1950D roll earlier today. I'm going to reschedule that for noon tomorrow. I will take care of it at noon tomorrow Eastern time. But the big announcement, the big thing that I was going to say is that we are going to have a special roll reveal. It's going to be a 2020 Lincoln Cent roll. No, it only came with the cardboard on one end. It was only on one end. Generally, that's all they do. They'll stack cardboard at one end of the roll. One of these little guys. That's just a little piece of cardboard. It's all cupped up because it was sealed into the roll. This is what it looks like. I got a lot of those things around here. But this 2020 roll, I haven't exactly figured out what I'm going to do with it yet. I know I'm not going to sell the spots in the roll. I'm actually going to give them away. So this 2020 roll will be a customer appreciation roll. And it will go to the first 50 people who do something. I have not yet figured out exactly what that's going to be, but it will happen during the auction this coming Tuesday. So if you want to get into this roll and you're going to be getting into a free roll, it'll be absolutely free. You can get one coin from the roll so that you'll get a 2020 Lincoln Cent. And it will be sometime this coming week, but Tuesday evening during the auction is when we will fill that roll. And I'm not exactly sure yet exactly how I'm going to handle getting the coins to the people. I think I'm just going to envelope and send them with a first class stamp. But we'll see how that works. But I want everyone to have an opportunity to get a 2020 penny early on, and here it is, January still. Well, no, it isn't. It's February now. It's February 1st, and we're going to have a 2020 roll show up here in the mail pretty soon. As soon as it does, we will open it up and give 50 coins away to 50 lucky people. Just show up at the auction on Tuesday evening, and you'll get a chance to get involved in that. We're also going to continue doing roll reveals into the weeks to come. And at some point, hopefully by the end of February, we will have Jessica ready to do roll reveals herself, where she will be able to get into doing roll reveals for Coppercoins. And I hope that you give her and show her the same respect and enjoyment in the show that she has as I have received on this show, because she is very knowledgeable about die varieties. She's knowledgeable about the different series, or about the different issues that she's going to be working with. I'm going to be sending her some original bank wrap rolls that she will be able to open just like I open them for you. Let's see, coming up for auction this coming Tuesday, I am going to do my first attempt to sell some very high value Lincoln cents. We're going to be doing a 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent. We're going to be doing a 1922 plain. There will be a couple of 1914 Ds, a couple of 1931 S Lincoln cents. There will be a 1955 double die. There will be a 1972 double die number 1. There will be a 1970 S proof small date Lincoln cent, along with a number of other nice Lincoln cents that are older and better. We'll have a few rolls, not very many rolls, but we'll have a few rolls. That's all coming up this coming Tuesday here on the Coppercoins channel. Anybody who's been wanting to get involved in one of the high grade or better grade early coins, or a refreshing look at some of the key date coins of the Lincoln Cent series, we'll have them there. Let's see if I have anything else that I need to share now. I did let you know that the 1950D roll reveal will be tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. It's noon Eastern Time. That's 11 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Mountain, 9 o'clock Pacific. Sorry, it's going to be like an early morning thing, but you need to be getting up and getting your pigs in a blanket ready for the Super Bowl anyway. So, there we go. Got to be getting ready for Jessica's auction, which is coming up on Sunday. That's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. Hello, Wild Ohio Outdoors and Detecting. Wild Ohio. Not easy to say. Wild Ohio Outdoors and Detecting. I guess you can say it because you're probably used to it. It's like I'm used to saying Coppercoins. Other people, they have a tendency when they say something with coin in it, and they say it fast, they tend to turn it into corn. I can remember when I worked for Modern Coin Mart, and it came out as Modern Corn Mart about half the time. New Marshall, how you doing, brother? I got your boxes sitting back here ready to go. They're going to be picked up Monday. Along with everybody else's stuff, they're going to be picked up on Monday. Yeah, 09 SVDB that I have is actually an uncirculated coin, and the 1922 plain is actually a pretty nice looking coin. It's not uncirculated. Well, for a 22 plain anyway. The time on the auction is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The time on the 1950D roll that I had to reschedule for tomorrow will be noon Eastern Time. Noon Eastern Time tomorrow for the 1950D roll. Jessica's auction will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. That's 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. And then the Super Bowl starts at 6:30 Eastern Time tomorrow. And my bedtime will be sometime between 10 and midnight. I might watch the end of the game from the slumber of my bed, but generally I stop watching the Super Bowl if it is a 30-point or more favor at halftime. I appreciate it, Bill. Thank you very much for stopping by. Be sure you stop by often. you can help me out with some of this stuff. Help me with some of the factoids. Stonecutter says he feels more OT in his future. That would be overtime. That's because he thinks he's going to get some things that he really needs out of Coppercoins auctions. Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, Misplaced Youper Girl, I have a coin here for you, and I'm not sure that I have your address. Could you email your address to me so that I could ship a coin to you? You can just email it to cd@coppercoins.com. Because for people who haven't actually purchased anything from me through PayPal, I don't have your address. Much appreciated. Kevin Speaks says 49ers to win. Yeah. I'm going to say no on that. I'm going to say Kansas City is our Super Bowl winner this year. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. 49ers by 10. You're already drinking, aren't you, buddy? 49ers by 10. You know, I might have to eat my words, but I don't think the Niners have a chance against this year's Chiefs. Well, no, nobody really thinks a lot of scoring during a Super Bowl, but I do remember a certain Super Bowl that was played with the 49ers back in 1989 against the, it was against the Denver Broncos, John Elway and the Denver Broncos, and boy, did they ever open it wide open. You got it, Majestic. Well, okay, you got it, Kevin. That's a straight up no points. No sliders, no points, no favors. Straight up, win or lose. What we got? Not like I'm trying to run a booking thing here, but we got Majestic. And we've got... Who else was that? Yeah, easy money. That's what I'm thinking. Go Chiefs. Kevin Speaks. Okay. A new line of revenue. Well, PNC Floyd, I'm not really that far off of something like that. I mean, you know, anything lucrative I'll take. And if people are going to bet against Kansas City Chiefs, the way they've been performing this year, well, yeah, I also know, of course, that the Niners have their new way of doing things, and I tell you what, they've been very impressive this year. They've been very impressive this year, but I do believe in the AFC this time around. I think that the AFC is going to pull it off, and I'm for the AFC. Anyone in the AFC, anytime it's not the Patriots. There goes my profit this week. No, that's just my gas money. I'll have to walk to the store. Have a great night, Jim Fletcher. I appreciate it. So Deanne is our NFL expert of the house. Says Niners better defense. Everybody knows defense wins championships, and that's what Scott says. Scott is Deanne's husband. Yeah, I have this thing. I have this feeling about the Chiefs. And it isn't because I'm from Missouri. Actually, the Chiefs are a very distant second as far as my likes of teams are concerned. I'm definitely a Steelers fan. Definitely always been a Steelers fan. In fact, if you look through my mess, you can see my Steelers right over there. Walking is good for me, but I will not have to walk. I can choose to walk. Where in Missouri? I was born in Springfield, Missouri. Most of my family, my mother lives in the Springfield area. My wife and I are both from Springfield. Joe, I think the Chiefs are favored by 1 point. Or 2, something like that. Oh, it's downstairs. It's in the wash. I was using it yesterday, the Steelers cup. Yeah, my Steelers mug. I've got 2 of them. Both of them are in the wash right now. I'm actually just using my regular silver Yeti right now. I do need a terrible towel on the wall, so now you know what to get me for my birthday. August 1st, don't forget. Fly, Eagles, fly. Are we talking about the Philadelphia Eagles? Yeah, okay. I do believe the Chiefs will win this game. I do believe it. That's who I'm going to be rooting for to win this game. I'm glad the Chiefs made it as far as they did into the championships over the past few years. I mean, they've had chances. They've blown their chances. They've had a couple of really heavy winning seasons and then blew it right toward the end. But beating the Patriots this year was a big thing. And I think Mahomes really has it going for him. I think he's got a good team behind him. When you win, you'll take 2 extra rolls in your package. Okay. I could do it that way. Either that or I'll just go back and find an earlier roll that I really don't want to let go of, but I can. We'll talk about it. But, yeah, I'm from Springfield, Missouri. The Springfield, Branson area, Table Rock Lake. I grew up around there. Learned everything I learned on the dirt roads of Christian County. You want to hit one of those silly box pools one of these days? One of these years? Silly box pool. What's that? Is that like... Silly box pool. I really don't know. Yeah, there was a lot to learn on those old dirt roads. I can't tell you the number of fields I hunted for arrowheads down in there. Rivers I fished in. I can remember, I think when I was about 15 years old, I hiked about 4 miles in the Finley River. Let's see, Stonecutter, do I plan on making it? Probably not to Chicago. If something happens and there's a decent sized show in Pittsburgh, I could probably go to Pittsburgh. I kind of like Pittsburgh. Super Bowl pool, the box with the numbers. You know what? I guess I don't know about those. That's weird. Okay, Eric, I apologize again for that 1950D roll moving around on us as much as it has, but it will be done tomorrow. Given I'm in my good health and everything else works out, it will be done tomorrow noon Eastern time. I'll see you then. Put your name in a box, numbers 1 through 0 along the side. Good gosh, I can't believe that I'm the only one here who has not heard of it. Oh my gosh, Tim Corral says he'll put a 66 DDR against $500 of the Chiefs win. 66 DDR. You talking about one of the major DDRs? You talking about the one that it's the one that's on doubledie.com that Brian Allen photographed. Amazing. You planning your summer vacation? Well, you let me know if there's any shows that you're going to be attending that are anywhere south of New York that you think you might be able to go to. And let me know where they are and when they are, and I will certainly try to make some plans with you. I've never been to a Football Hall of Fame ceremony. I'm assuming that would be in Canton, Ohio. You're a Cowboys fan, but pulling for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Now, the only, I guess really the only, let's say, relation that I can pick between Cowboys and Chiefs is that at one time, the Chiefs were the AFC team in Dallas. They were called the Dallas Texans. Is that why you would be pulling for the Chiefs over the Niners, or is it because the Niners are in the NFC West and every NFC East fan hates the NFC West? I don't know what reason it would be, other than maybe the Chiefs just have pretty red uniforms. I'd love to go to Canton. I'd love to go there. Actually, I'd like to make it to Cooperstown sometime. I've never been to Cooperstown. I don't know where the Basketball Hall of Fame is, but I've never really had a whole lot of interest in basketball. Isn't it in Detroit? Is that where the Basketball Hall of Fame is? Where is the Basketball Hall of Fame? Jessica, you have a great night. You have a wonderful night. Say hi to Bug. Say hi to Dusty. Say hi to Tyler. Night, Mary Ellen. W. I guess Mantic has found himself some good quarters. So Springfield, Massachusetts. I've actually been through Springfield, Mass. And didn't realize that the Basketball Hall of Fame was even there. I know the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. Street shot west on I-90 from there. Nice. That's right. Strike it rich with pocket change. Friend is a Niners fan. You've always been against him, and he's against the Cowboys. So it's kind of a friendship rivalry type thing. I can understand that. Of course, I'm a lifelong Steelers fan. So anytime I look at something that has Dallas Cowboys on it, it makes me cringe. So I guess we could have that friendship rivalry too. Although I have a tendency to think that people who like the Cowboys are kind of touched in the head the wrong way. Need to hit Toronto for the NHL to make it 4. There you go. Heck, I could go up there, learn something about hockey, right? Boxing Hall of Fame, I have no idea. Probably Las Vegas. I'm thinking Las Vegas. Cowboys fans are touched in the head in the wrong way. Cazenovia, New York. Is that where the Boxing Hall of Fame is? Don't like the Steelers or the Patriots. Now, wait a minute. You can't put the Steelers and the Patriots in the same bucket together. I could understand, like, Patriots and something like the Giants or the... I don't know, Dolphins. But Steelers and Patriots, putting them together? Oh, that's like oil and water. They don't mix. But I guess maybe you don't like the Steelers or the Patriots because they've both won more Super Bowls than the Cowboys. So, perhaps that could be it. Yeah, but nobody's lost more than the Bills. So I actually have seen that 66 DDR, the one that's in Strike It Rich with Pocket Change. I've actually seen the photographs. Very, very nice. Very nice. Been looking for one. Never found one. Wide right Norwood. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, you don't like the Steelers because they're cheaters? And because the Steelers and the Patriots are cheaters? Okay. Tim Crowley, you'll have to email him or work on trying to contact him another way. I think he's already gone for the evening. I think he left. The kicker for the Bills was named Norwood. Okay. That was in 91 or 92, at the Bills-Giants game, where the Bills lost because of a bad kick on a field goal. I do remember that. I just didn't remember the guy's name. I guess I wasn't paying that close attention. Not really a Bills fan. Didn't really care about the Giants that much either, but you know, when you're in the military and you're sitting in your living room, have nothing better to do on Super Bowl night, you watch the Super Bowl. How many times have the Patriots been caught cheating? Well, according to the NFL, none. All right, folks, it looks like we are done for the night. I do appreciate everyone coming by. And I would like to again extend my apology to those who showed up this afternoon for the 1950D roll, and I wasn't there. I was taking care of some things that I had to get done. But I'm good for tomorrow. Be here tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. That's 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time for the next edition of the show, which will be OBW number 68. It's reveal number 68. It's going to be the 1950D original bank wrapped roll. I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great evening. Love and peace to everyone. And if I don't see you before then, have a great time during the Super Bowl.